Hello, Core 3 Beauties. This is Marcos, and this is our week 13 to 14 recap briefing. It's the Thanksgiving week, and I hope everyone is enjoying your time off and also being productive, being grateful and productive at the same time. But we'll be back in class next week, and I want to make sure everyone has got a sense of what you should be working on and how far along you should be as we're getting nearer and nearer to our finals. All right, so this is just a quick recap on the workflow you should be doing. So basically, you're working to get closer to completing your designs for both your analog and digital pieces. And that means that you should have gone from last week having kind of the initial design developed for both pieces and having a good foundation now to now implementing that further and putting together your pieces in a more comprehensive way, keeping in mind the idea that these need to be substantial projects. Each of them equally need to be substantial in a way that reflects what the initial briefing for the full cohort was outlined. That's showcased in our first project outline on Canvas. And in order to ensure we're doing that, I want to make sure you guys have plenty of time to work while having time to review and get feedback. So we're going to do the model of the half class reviews with half of you meeting one on Tuesday, the other half meeting on Thursday, getting feedback from me and the class, but also you having that time to work when you're not presenting or giving feedback to be working on your project. Work. So this is going to, we're down to 2 weeks once you get back before the finals, the third week, so 2 weeks to work before the finals. So I want that to avoid the panic, but instead have focus and have confidence in what you're doing, because I know each of you are going to be able to do this in a really great way. So let's just take a look at the timeline. It's getting darker and darker, and the weeping emojis are getting bigger and bigger. And design student Sally has wandered over to week 14, and we can see that we're in our design development, or I'm calling it design finalization as the assignment on Canvas, half class reviews. And then after that, we have one more week of working and checking in before and the tiers are getting bigger and bigger, and we're going to then have one day on week 16 where we have our finals. So let's talk about our finals a little bit. As we talked about this, for those of you who were at the cross cohort critique, and in that class, before we had our critique, I talked about these different options of how we could potentially handle the finals, and got good feedback from everybody, and kind of was unanimous that all these other ideas weren't cutting it, and the best way to do it is to have a full everyone on Tuesday, but have an online review, Zoom meeting review that would allow everyone to have plenty of time to present, because there's too many people to do a full presentation. We'd run out of time. But if we do it online with Zoom, we can break out into breakout rooms, and we can also, in order to break out into breakout rooms, we will have a set of guest judges, and in a way, add a new layer to this, a new layer to the project. Not necessarily what your friends in the other classes are going to do, but for us, we've added the layer of creating a substantial brand, picking a social cause, making this a piece with a purpose. And I think some of you saw what it meant what it looked like not to have that purpose in this project, when you just some of your friends were just creating some cool pieces. Nothing wrong with that, but purposeful pieces is what design is about. Purposeful, doing something for a purpose, solving a problem on behalf of somebody else, and not so much on behalf of yourself. So the next layer I want to add to that is getting professional feedback and putting you in a position where you have to tell the story of your project from start to finish to somebody or to somebodies who don't know anything about your project, or about you for that matter. And it'll give you great practice in telling that story and making that presentation, and giving you the confidence to know that once you present your work, once you showcase what you've done and hear back from somebody who's a creative professional in some way, and some of them will be students, not former students, not so much different than you, and others will be older people like me who have different perspectives. But in these small groups, you'll have two judges per group, and it'll allow you to get some really good new feedback, and mostly encouragement. Like I tell them, be nice. Don't it's not about them ripping you apart or having brilliant ideas. It's about them giving you feedback on your design, but also giving you feedback you won't ever get, which is like feedback on your presentation. And even if you do terrible and you like throw up right on the screen, like great, you got it over with. You did it in class, in this class, not at your first job. But you won't do that because you guys are all great communicators. You all present well, and it'll be a chance to do that on our finals. So even those of you who have expressed the issue of being having to leave early, you'll be able to do it from wherever you are. And if anybody is interested in still trying to get a kind of a classroom experience, maybe there's a way to have one of the groups be in the classroom, if we can limit it to like 4 or 5 people who want to be in the classroom, and then but still be online. I don't know if that's kind of weird, but anyway, I'm still open for more suggestions, but that's the plan for finals. So for this week, once you've had your great feast, once you've recovered from eating too much and over deserting or whatever, then get back to work. I'm sorry, you got to get back to work, and spend the rest of the weekend working away and basically getting your project to the point where you're like 1 week away. And I can't tell you exactly what that is or what to do. I can just kind of give you that guideline, like get stuff done so you're not rushing too much at the end. And hopefully some of you were a little bit behind, and you got to catch up. If you are, you got to get back to where you're supposed to be. But I put this, basically what I'm saying here, in a more professional way. I wrote this out, that take this next step towards of week 14 to build your projects as far along as you can, so that you have 1 more week to refine and finalize. And then also 1 more week to build your presentation. And you should be thinking about your presentation too, like continue to add to it if you're doing it that way, or know that you're going to bring in that presentation that tells your concept of your issue, the research you've done, the development of your brand, your identity, and then these pieces will be part of that presentation, so that you have 1 full communication, just like the adult literacy example I gave you in the beginning of this project. All right. So there's a Google Drive link in there, and here's the Google Drive. It's part 7. And let's just end this video with a reminder of what's the foundation we're standing on? What is the thing we're seeking to do? What's our ultimate goal? We are Core 3 Beauties for a reason, because we are seeking beauty. We are looking for the good, the true, and the beautiful. We're taking a pathway from where we are now, and we're trying to get to that point where we can create human flourishing through the work we make in these projects, and also to have a better appreciation of the idea of having something bigger than us that we're trying to answer to, and we're trying to create things that will make not only other people's lives better, but our own lives better. So keep thinking about beauty, and here's a little way of knowing what it is. Just, oh boy, that feels good. Yes. Oh, good. Okay. So remember, beauty is our goal. And you guys are all beautiful, and I know you're going to do a great job. So don't be stressed. Don't feel too under pressure. Things will look up. You're going to have that inspiration, and you can do it. All right, guys. And also reach out to me if you need feedback. I'll check my email all over the week, all during the weekend and during the week. And I'm here to help. So please utilize me. That's what you're paying for. Okay. So make me work. It's not just you that has to work. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I'll see you next week.